Welcome to the Art of Hobbiness. We are so excited to be back here today. I'm Erin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tam. And we have an awesome interview for you guys today with a friend of ours, Terri Fry. She has a social media account and brand called Mom Like That. It's all about working moms. And she also has a lot of hobbies herself, including bullet journaler, making paper stars, reading, and crafting.
I want to hear all about those making paper stars.
Welcome,
Terri.
All right. I'm so excited. Like, this is such a great podcast, first of all.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I love hobbies. I'm like really obsessed with having different hobbies. I think it's like so good for your soul.
Oh, yes.
So when Tara told me about it, I'm like, oh my God, this sounds wonderful. So
thank you.
Happy to be here.
Awesome.
Well, so glad. Well, so tell us a little bit about yourself. So you are the founder of Mom Like That. Did it start as a podcast? Did it start as a hobby? Like, take us through that journey.
So it did start off as a podcast, and that was the only reason I even joined Instagram to begin with, because I needed a space to promote the podcast.
Great.
It was originally called Mom Like That Podcast because Mom Like That was already taken. And because I stopped podcasting, I just dropped the podcast and added an underscore just because, like, I don't want to answer questions about podcasting in that sense. And the intention, I did the podcasting for a few years, and I just felt like I exhausted all the topics. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. We had great guests, like both serious and funny, some experts. And then like COVID hit and I got pregnant and I lost like that mojo and then stopped podcasting. Then I tried to revamp it and I was like, I don't want to edit anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
It's a lot.
I don't want to. So I was just like, okay, it's no longer fun because the production pieces are no longer fun for me. So I just don't want to do it anymore. And in general, like life's busy, work's busy, and I've just been focusing on other things. Essentially, like I'm keeping this account alive because I want to eventually talk more about like working mom life because that's who I am. I have a full-time corporate job and I'm also a freelancer. So it's a really busy job. I'm a project management and business growth consultant. So like during the day, it's like herding corporate cats through a lot of different like really, really massive projects for many massive corporations. And then in the evenings, like I support like small businesses and entrepreneurs with project management on a small scale because corporate costs are too much for small businesses. So I make it affordable. And in that capacity, like I analyze people's businesses and like what they're doing so I can create them a roadmap on how to achieve their goals. I never tell people that I can help you make money because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm a business consultant. Doesn't mean I can promise you an income.
Sure.
But what I do is I enable people to have the right tools, the right technology and systems and planning in place so they can, in a really easy way, well, as easy as like managing a business gets, be able to accomplish their goals as opposed to feeling burnt out. And this fall, I'm launching a couple new services. And actually, like I do a lot of this freelance through word of mouth. So I'm still in the process of establishing my website and everything and like securing this as like a legit business in that sense. But this fall, I'm launching it as like an official business to grow my clientele, but also I'm providing support to like influencers. Like that's one of my offerings that's going to come this fall. So I'm really excited about that. And including like doing just like group coaching sessions for working moms just to handle like difficult conversations at work and how to set those boundaries because it becomes like hard to ask for things because you're a mom and you don't want to be a burden for taking time off for work like for kids related. And I often see people even at my work when they have to take some time off because of kids, they go into like rants of explanation as to why. Like it's not needed, girl. Just say you're not
you
available.
need time off.
That's it. Like you have the right to say that. So essentially, and that's in a nutshell. And then like, of course, I have love to keep myself busy. So I have so many hobbies that I'm like a really big fan of. Yeah. So that's my story.
Wow. That's incredible. You are like, that's so much. That's awesome. You're taking on all those projects. How do you do it? That seems like...
Well, I do have to say, like, I have a very supportive partner. So, like, my husband and I are very much, like, we divide and conquer everything. And also, like, a little bit of help, like, we outsource so many things. we hire cleaners and our cleaning services come and cleans our house. Like, of course, we still have to tidy up and do the
Mm-hmm.
cleanup
Yeah.
before. But she's seen some shit. Like, see that in the,
Yeah, I think
don't know
it's
if I
fine.
can-
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
But see, I sometimes wonder, like, she must think I'm a slob.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, we just have messes all the time. And
I mean,
like,
with
you
kids,
can't have everything perfect. That's just
Right.
why I could never be a lifestyle influencer.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't have a single corner in my house that's like,
No, I don't know how people do that at all. That would stress me
No.
out.
yeah. And also, we don't really cook. We buy a lot of pre-made foods from Costco. We rely on takeout and just like general pre-made meals.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, it's not perfect, but we don't have time. Like, and our kids have really busy schedules. It's a lot of divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes, like,
You have to
and
prioritize
like,
what's important.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes through cycles of burnout. Like, I'm totally burnt out right now. Like, I was saying to my husband this morning, I've reached burnout.
Mm.
It's
And I'm like,
amazing that you
next week I
recognize
need to
that.
like slow down and
Yeah.
take some time off to just clean my house so I can feel better.
Yeah. That burnout's a
Yeah.
real thing as a
Mhm.
working mom. We can both relate to that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And it's great that you're able to recognize that
Mhm.
and like call that out and kind of start to like implement time for yourself in that, because like that's the self-care that you need in order to get out of that burnout, right?
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely. Otherwise, you'll just like go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, at least I would. So.
Well, with all that going on, how do you find hobby time?
Okay, so hobbies are like kind of built in for me. So,
Okay.
um, do I start like with my hobbies?
Sure. Let's hear about.
Absolutely.
We'd
I
love
like-
to hear about the bullet journaling.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
So, do you guys know what a bullet journal is?
I do.
I personally do not, so please let me
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so bullet journal is like, picture like your diary plus your to-do list and your calendar and your
Okay.
like a goal tracking and a scrapbook all combined into one.
Okay.
So it can be anything you want it to be. Some
Oh.
people bullet journal and they just do their thoughts. It's like a fancy way of saying like scrapbook and fancy to-do list.
Okay.
But okay, so I was actually this year's bullet journal is sitting in my bag, but I was referring to some notes from my
Yes.
last year's
Yay.
bullet journal. I keep
Visual
them all.
examples. Yes.
It's like visuals.
Oh.
Wow.
You know,
That's
like
really pretty, actually.
it's like April. So it was my April, and I had 2 pictures based on like what I'm envisioning for the month. Lots of planner stuff, but it's also like my goals. I have like my journals, like what are my goals and wishes for
Wow.
2023 went into it. I had like a vision board in it, like what am I looking
Wow.
to do? But it's a lot of like to-do list. What are my goals for this month? What am I working towards when we are doing like a family trip? Like, this was like a week and
Oh
my
my gosh.
daughter drew in it. So yeah, it's a planner as well as a to-do list. Like, so I refer to my old journals. Every year we do like a same cottage trip. So I have all my to-do lists from the previous years into my journals. And I just go back to it, say, oh, like, yeah, this I like, this I didn't like to take. And like, you know, last year I was making nutrition plans, so they are in it.
Wow.
It's essentially anything you want it to be. And I use mine daily. Oh, this is a cute page. This is my Christmas prep.
Oh.
So,
What-
you know, like because I'm a journal junkie in that sense. Sorry, I'm gonna like turn on my screens in the back because it fell asleep on me. Sorry, it's just lighting.
Oh, you're
It's
good.
okay.
Okay.
See?
Yeah.
Do you
you're good.
see?
Yeah. Makes a difference.
Use
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
Oh yeah.
And also like stickers. Because you can't do journaling, in my opinion, without stickers.
Oh,
I have
yes.
like books and
Wow.
books of
Oh
stickers
my
Yes,
for
God, you do?
every purpose.
Yes.
I have like, you have a plan. I have a sticker for it. Like, there's stickers for like daydreamer, like for your hopes and dreams. There's a sticker book for super moms, goals, objectives, good habits. Like, you name. There's a reel I have on it, and I can share that with you later. But
Yes,
you
please.
name a sticker. Like, you have something you're working through in your life. I have a sticker for that.
Wow.
love
So sticker
So-
hobby. That's awesome. I love it.
And I
Yeah.
actually use my bullet journal daily.
Yeah.
So before a month starts, I create a plan for the month. Like, what are my goals this month? And I track my habits down to exercise, how often I'm cleaning, so I can, like, you know, see, okay, like, your house is falling apart. Let's look at how much you cleaned this month.
Right.
Well, there you go. Like, so I track everything, how much I read, how much exercise I get, how much water I'm drinking. And then, like, all my goals for the month are big events that are coming up that I need to plan for, create project plans for. All of that I do ahead of the month, and then I just update those lists. And then, like, when I just need to write down my thoughts of things that I'm feeling, things that are just on my mind, I throw them in there too. And at the month end, I actually print out pictures of like highlights of the month, and I put them in the journal too.
Wow.
So I have bullet journals for so many years now, and they're just gonna be inherited by my kids. And I'm hoping one day my grandkids will do a project on their cool grandmother.
I love
I
that.
love
was
that
gonna say,
too.
I
And
feel like
have
you should
all of
publish
this like
that.
memory to like really get into my mind, like what was grandma thinking?
Yeah.
How did you get into, like, when were you introduced to bullet journaling, and how did you start to implement that into your daily routine?
Probably I think 2017 is when I started my first official bullet journal.
Okay.
Just like Pinterest and BuzzFeed and like all of these places had like bullet journal stuff, and I love to-do lists. So it started with like creating a fancy to-do list, and I love a planner, but I just found that general agendas weren't enough for me. Like they didn't fulfill me in the way I wanted to plan. So I started creating my own planners.
Okay.
And that incorporate my to-do list. It was very customized. I would make the templates and then print them out and then put them on paper or draw them out. And like I love to draw as well, like colors. Like I'm not good, but just like fun. It's like very soothing.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be so customized to me. And that's when I learned about bullet journaling. I'm like, this is exactly what I need.
Wow, what a cool way to like stay organized, keep yourself accountable, be a little creative, and then also take some of the pressure off of that idea of journaling. Because I've always been a little overwhelmed by the idea of journaling, like having to sit down, feeling like I have to like sit down and write out all my thoughts and feelings. I love this idea to just jot down a few of the key points for the day. That seems like much more manageable as a busy person.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. And if you can have it all in one book, and like, I can't wait to post like pictures, if you don't mind, that you've shown us today of like.
I'll send you pictures too if you want.
Oh, that would be great.
Beautiful, because I feel like I would love for our listeners to see that, because I'm somebody who really likes to-do lists.
Yeah,
because I just love like the satisfaction of like writing something down.
Yes.
But I never considered the idea of like decorating that.
Yeah.
Essentially decorating that to-do list to make it pretty. Well,
that much more satisfying,
there, right? Like I feel why am I not
Yeah.
drawing just like little hearts all over it?
Yeah.
Remember when we used to put like little hearts over our eyes, or maybe there's
That's it. It's just a grown-up version.
Yes.
It's just adulting with those stickers.
Yes.
Remember like when we used to collect stickers? Remember those fuzzy horse stickers? Lisa Frank?
Yes, Lisa Frank. Or like those gel pens. Remember when your teachers
Oh,
were like,
different colors.
That's man.
Right,
I
a
have
line
like
of
again like a whole box of pens that I keep. Like I'm obsessed with this stuff. It's so nerdy and dorky. So like don't come out and tell everybody, but I don't leave the house without my journal.
That's great.
Like no matter where I go, it stays with me.
And it's all in one book. I love that. You're not carrying multiple books to try to manage multiple different parts of your life. You've got it all in one. And you get like a really, you almost get to create like a full picture of yourself. I want you to publish it so I can kind of get into your mind and read it. Would you do that?
Oh my God. Like that would be so fun. I thought like I wouldn't. I think I would like in the future when I could look back and be like, oh, that's the past me.
Right.
Like, you know, so I don't have to like justify like anything. But it's just so personal. Like sometimes like the thoughts are just dark, and like I remember like whatever mood cycle I'm in, sometimes it's just really dark, but it's just like a nice way of capturing. Okay, you know what? Did you guys ever see Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Alice Grey's journals.
Yeah.
And how Meredith is hooked.
Yes.
That's the vision I have. That's the vision I have.
Yes. Your kids opening that box 20 years from now and being like, that's interesting.
Mom thought some dark stuff.
My new journal is right here. I gotta show you this.
Okay.
This is great. Sorry, I'm like right here. I'm not leaving. You can edit this out.
Okay.
It's like in this bag somewhere. I'm just like dumping stuff out. Like I said, like, you know, I do a lot, so my entire house is a mess. But at least like my journal's organized. Okay, so you can also buy really cool,
that's
nice
pretty.
covers for your journal.
Yes.
This was a $100 cover just from my bullet journal.
Okay.
But like it has like other things I add to it, so I switch out the journals. Things that I want to like glue in to the journal later, I add to it. But
just kind of keep
like
it all
I
collected.
add pictures. I add like pictures of what the month is like, what the month was like. So this was from February with my kids. These are my trackers.
Ooh,
like it's like a whole list.
Wow.
And you also have to grace with yourself. Like summer's really busy.
Yes.
So like I am not going to do really detailed trackers for summer because I just don't have time.
No, who does?
But like when we were, this is my packing list for our cottage trip. Do you see like how you can just make it fun?
Yes,
You just
definitely.
have your packing list.
And
in
then you
there.
have that, and you
I
can reuse it,
love
right?
it.
So that's
That's what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I love that I can make this my. Oh, and then I put other stuff in it too.
Oh,
Like
look at
I'm
you.
obsessed with Taylor Swift. My son made me
That's
a picture
awesome.
of Taylor Swift
Oh, that's
on
awesome.
Mother's Day.
Cute.
So I put it in here. Like I need memories. It's like a scrapbook too.
Yeah.
So
That's really sweet.
it's like it's my lifeline. I can't live without it.
I can tell you're
That's so
passionate
cool.
about it. Like
Yeah.
just by listening to you talk
I
about
am.
it, like it's literally seeping in, and like that's honestly, I have some jealousy for that because
Yeah.
it's like I just want to feel so passionately about a hobby,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting there.
Yeah,
There's been a
yeah.
couple I've dabbled in
I
that
think we
I've
all
been
do.
excited
Mhm.
about, but like just seeing like the energy that you have in talking about bullet journaling, like you don't have to tell me that you are
thank
passionate
you.
about it. Like I can see it and feel it.
Yeah, there are like some legit crazy experts that they're so artistic. I could never be at that level. They're
Mhm.
just, but this is my thing. This
Yeah, it's
works
for
me.
you. It's for you, right? Not for anybody else. So that's so cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to move on because there's
Yes.
one of your hobbies that I really want to learn more about. It's your stars.
Yeah.
Tell me
Oh
about
my
your
God.
stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We've
First
all
of all,
had
So
no
stars.
Yeah.
I have like a jar here. It's
Okay.
literally paper stars.
Oh my god.
And
Oh.
Oh my god, that's
I
not
didn't
what I thought it was
know.
going to be at all.
Yeah.
So I
just
thought you
paper
were just
stars.
literally taking it, like I was picturing like, you know, snowflakes, like that you would
Yes.
cut out a piece of paper.
Yes.
I thought
Yeah.
that's what I was going to be
Oh,
looking
no.
at.
Yeah. How
What?
do you make
This is like-
those?
For our people who are not seeing what we're looking at, her stars are actually 3D.
And they're tiny.
And
Yeah.
they're like the size of a
Four-dimensional.
Wow. So
dime.
cute.
Come in various colors. How do you,
Yeah,
is
so
it
they
like
have
origami
gold. I don't
or?
know where my new paper is because I just finished my last paper. This comes in handy because I just want to fidget with my
Yeah.
hands.
Okay.
There are tiny strips of pages. Here, I'll open one so you can see what it looks like. There are tiny strips of pages. Do you know when we used to make roses with the ribbons?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of like that is how you make it. It's just the way in folding it.
Oh my
It's
god.
like this long.
And you
Wow.
unfolded
So
it like
you
it was
just keep-
nothing.
When I'm in meetings and I'm just like need to just fidget, I just keep folding it in the way it's supposed to be done. I'm not doing it right now, but by the time you're done folding it, you just squeeze the sides, the edges, and it turns into a star. And I just keep doing it. It just keeps my hands busy.
Yeah.
And
It's like- yeah.
helps me stay focused. And it's really cute and pretty. And then my daughter likes to play with them after.
How did you stumble
I-
upon that hobby? I've never heard of that.
When I was a teenager, I went into the Sanrio. Do you remember the store Sanrio Surprise, like the Hello Kitty store?
Yeah.
Sanrio
Oh,
World.
yes.
There was
yes.
one in
Uh-huh.
like the old, I think it was the South County St. Louis.
Okay.
I think it might even still be there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they sell paper stars there, like the strips for the paper stars there. I was a teenager. I got it. It was like a good way for me to keep myself busy and
Mhm.
keep my thoughts like away from just the messiness of my life.
Yeah.
At that time, I just used to make them. I put them in jars, and oh my god, this is so cringy. Okay, so one time I made like a jar of stars for my then high school boyfriend. There were like over 1,000
Oh
stars
my
in it.
gosh.
And then I labeled the jar with, it was an anniversary gift, like 3 months or 6 months or something like that, like
I
a big
love
deal.
it.
And I labeled it, if I could hold one star for each time you made me smile, I would have the entire night sky in my hand.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
This is so easy and
Oh, I
cringy.
love it. Thanks for sharing that story with
Oh.
us.
I
Teenage love.
it.
Yes,
Do you,
we've all been there.
Do you think he still has the jar?
I have no idea. I should ask. Like, we're still friends. Like, it's so old, but that's what I did. And then a few years ago, I had all these jars. I had stopped making stars for a bit. I'm like, what do I do with it? So I sent it to my kids' school, and they use it for like counting and kindergarten
Oh, that's
and
great.
collages and stuff, like just decorating stuff. So it's been coming in handy. And then like I picked up this hobby again about 6 or 8 months ago, and my husband's like, "Oh shit, these stars are back."
They're everywhere.
It's just good. It helps me fidget.
So you just need to make him like a bigger jar than what your high school boyfriend got, and just be like a star for every day that I've loved you, baby.
I know. I think my kids would appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel like
I could do that for my
they
kids.
would.
What a cute
yeah.
idea to just have like, especially because like you said, you kind of do it when you're just kind of trying to, what did we learn? Habit stacking almost. Like you're doing your meeting, but you're also doing your stars. We learned that from Tara. Tara taught us that word.
Oh, that's cool.
But you put that while in the meeting and then just kind of share with your kids, like to kind of show them how you've been thinking about them all day long. That would be really cute. I feel like they would buy that. I would buy that.
I think so.
love something. Erin,
Like, I think, I don't even know if my high
idea.
school boyfriend liked it.
Yeah.
He was probably like, it's so cringe. Like, what? I got a crazy one. Let me tell you what she did. Yeah, no, I don't know. But it was such a, to me, it was like so perfect in that moment.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's great that you found a use for them to be able to send them to the school too. Because I mean, like they really are like sizable little things that you really could use to count things with. So I think that's clever, just to have those little jars.
Yeah, and they're colorful. Like they can use it for different things. They can organize colors and sort. So it's like good for kindergartners.
I think that's great. I love that. Okay, so the next hobby that you told us about is you also read, and you currently have a goal of getting 22 books by the end of the year. We're in July, girl. What number are you at?
I'm behind. I think at 10.
10? Okay, that's great.
Yeah, that's more than one a month. That's good.
I feel like that's amazing.
Yeah.
10 is...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I thought my goal was, okay, like, I could build out. So normally I would set a goal for 24 books, 2 a month. But then the last 2 years, I'm like, I didn't hit this target. It's been 22 books consistently. I'm like, you know what? Let's aim for consistency this year. So I think I'll pick it up. Like come Christmas time, I read a lot. Just when I'm like, holiday season.
Snowy.
So I don't know.
Up. Yeah.
Things slow down a little bit. Do you have a favorite genre?
Sorry,
do you have a favorite genre of books that you like to read?
I don't. Like I read fiction and nonfiction both. I'm really into, like, when I'm looking for just some fun, I'm really into like a good smut read.
Yeah.
Something raunchy, something sexy. But I also love like a good mystery. And a lot of like self-help type of books. Atomic Habits is what I've been reading on. Like, so I'll always have one fiction, one nonfiction on the go, because the nonfiction takes a while. Right? Like I'm not finishing it in one sitting.
Oh, absolutely.
No way.
Yep.
And I'm like pausing and I'm like, okay, like let me evaluate, let me think this through.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. It's interesting because like I see that you, through your themes of like talking about your hobbies, you seem to be very in tune with yourself as far as when you either I'll say roadblock for lack of a better word, but roadblock is being used to say like maybe not hitting a goal, or maybe just don't have the time for it, or maybe just no interest in it. You seem to be very self-aware of when to stop a hobby and maybe either full stop or like readjust expectations. Have you always naturally been able to do that, or is that something that you've just learned as you've continued through your hobby journey?
Yeah, I think it's learned. And it's been through a lot of reflection of reading out what my goals were and where I netted out with accomplishing them. So there was a time where I'd be like, I didn't accomplish my goals. Like, what a failure in that sense. And then like life happens daily. Like there's so many things that are preventing us from just being able to do simple things, like even cleaning.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm just like realistic about, okay, like these are my goals and it's okay if I don't hit all of them. But I'm working towards something. And these all timelines are arbitrary.
Absolutely.
Who tells you how much you can do in a specific time frame?
Right.
So I just base it on that. Like writing down the goals reminds me like, okay, these are still things I want to work towards. And yes, I have like a timeline in mind, but this is like not a make or break timeline. Of course, when like you have make or break timelines, you just get it done.
Yeah.
Right. And these are just fun things that keep me engaged. And I just like, I'm good about, like, there was a time I have some bullet journals that have blank pages because I carved out things I will write in this specific spot.
Oh.
And I just didn't because I was like busy. And then I'm like, oh, I wasted this journal. And like, what do I do now?
Right.
But like, I'm like, okay, now I'm not doing that. It'll change. As I go along, it'll change. And if I made something in a journal that, I'm not going to work towards, I'll print something else and put it on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like staying real with yourself. Like you can do everything.
Right.
And like social media doesn't help, right? Like
Right.
everybody wants to do everything and everybody's always accomplishing things on social media. And that's not real life. So I've just learned to just go have grace and like still be like have fun with the things I'm pursuing.
I love that you use the word use grace, because I feel like that's something I've been trying to say a lot with myself, and like the last like year is trying to give myself grace for expectations that I set for myself. If I don't reach them, not to like be so hard on myself to make me, because I feel like I'm honestly sometimes I feel like I bully myself. You know, like I like put myself down for, you know, not getting to the dishes that day and like when I wanted to, or did I spend enough time with the girls when I wanted to and instead I did the dishes, right? Like I feel like having that grace to take a step back and reset yourself, because you're right, every day life happens. It's not just that week, it's every day. And finding time to get that self-care in there maybe isn't always factored in that day, but you know, the efforts should be at least acknowledged, right? You should at least acknowledge yourself for that. So I appreciate hearing you say the word grace. Yeah.
And also you're allowed to change your mind on everything in life. Every single thing. And it doesn't, like, I really hate the perspective on like, okay, when people want to accomplish something, and if you don't, it's looked at as a failure. I don't think you're failing at things. Like, I'll give you an example. During pandemic, I wrote about 4 children's books, and then I got one fully illustrated.
What?
It's ready. Still haven't published it. I just can't get myself to do it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'm like not feeling the story. Like the second one I wrote was so much better. So I'm like, oh, if I release this one first, like how will I feel? I don't have patience and time to work through the second one with the illustrator right now. And it's like, okay, like I've even announced on my page a few times, like my children's book is coming out in 2 months.
Love it.
2 months passed by, like, and now it's been a year. And okay, who cares?
Nobody cares, right?
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Nobody's worrying about like, oh, did Terri do it? She failed. And if they are, like, that's a reflection of their,
why do they care?
whatever. So like, you're allowed to change your mind on everything.
I love
like
that.
Even the way you want to raise your kids, like you can change your mind on what your own name, and people do that. And they start calling themselves different names. So
I love that.
I appreciate
saying, like,
I appreciate how real you are and how vulnerable you are now, but also on your social media presence. Like, you're just, I mean, showing what it's really like for moms. So I think that's so awesome.
You're very relatable.
Thanks.
And I really appreciate being around relatable people, because one of the things that, you know, that we talk about in happiness is finding a community within your hobbies, right? And just finding more women specifically, you know, I feel like that can recognize like the daily struggles, but then also like prioritizing self-care time. Like, it's really nice to continue to meet people like you that just help us feel more, I'm gonna say normal, normal and more, and like being just honest. Honest is a great word to use there. So I really appreciate that about you.
That's important to me. Yes. Well, thank you for saying that. Like, I'm not doing a lot on my social media page right now, just again because I don't have the time and I don't want to put in the effort, and that's okay. But like, I appreciate you saying that, because that's always been the goal. And sometimes, of course, it doesn't come across. You know, like, there's always a perception on social media, and I try to get away from sending a specific message. It just
the message that I get from you is just honesty. It seems like you are trying to build community. So I feel like your message is ringing loud and clear. And we feel so honored that you found time to be on our show today. Because I feel like
I was really excited for that.
Aw, thanks, Terri.
We were excited for you, Terri. Well, we can kind of wrap up here. I know that you kind of talked a little bit about how you do have kind of like a side project that you're kind of wanting to get out there. Do you want to talk a little bit about that now, or is there anything else that you would like to promote with us?
Yeah. So I have another page which I've done nothing on, and eventually I'll pick it up. And it's called By Terri Fry, because my consulting work is going to be under By Terri Fry. Right now, like, because I've limited myself to how many clients I take, I just do it through word of mouth. But I do want to intentionally start promoting it more and work with other clients. And I'm going to, at first I thought like influencers is not my market. Influencers reached out to me for work, like people I know. I just say like, I'm not your person.
Wow.
Like, you probably need someone else. But I recognize like as a project manager and people are burnt out,
Yeah.
there's a market for that. So I'm looking forward to launching new services geared towards social media influencers and like content creators who are just doing it all on their own. But how do I make their life easy to manage their workflow and still help them meet their goals? Like I can't meet the goals for you. I cannot tell you what that you will meet it. But I can help you build out a roadmap and have the right things, people, place, like, you know, everything in place to be able for you to achieve it if you follow it. If you don't follow it, then, you know. And the other is just like working mom support. Like I'm launching coaching groups in the fall where it's just discussion based, small groups for really authentic conversations. I wouldn't want more than 5 people in a session where we can just talk about like working mom struggles. Like what are you struggling through in life at home because of being a working parent, or even at school, not school, like, I mean, you could be in school.
You could be.
Or at work, like having difficult conversations at work. Like, how do you manage those conversations, you know, without losing composure, without having to worry about how you come across, just setting like realistic boundaries that people respect and give you confidence. And the topics will vary based on the support group's needs, but I'm really excited to bring that in the fall.
That's such a cool idea. I'm sure there's huge need for that. I
Oh
think
my
we
God.
all could use a bit like a vent session.
You might see me lurking in that little.
Oh, I would love to have you guys on. I'll keep you posted when
Yeah,
I launch
yeah,
them, but I'm
yes.
looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Yes.
And again, like the delays are like, I want these things to be meaningful and valuable. Like everything about it should add value. And if
Agreed.
it doesn't, it's just fluff.
Yeah.
Then I'm not doing it. So like, I want to be really intentional. So yeah, that's why I'm working through it slowly.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Terri, I can't thank you enough for being on our show today. I mean, you've been an absolute delight. You've been so honest and sincere with us. I just feel that that's going to resonate with anybody who listens to this episode. You've been so wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Art of Hobbiness. Be sure to subscribe and leave a review. And for more Erin and Tam fun, be sure to follow us on all socials for behind-the-scenes footage on our journey to find hobbiness.